everybody. My name is Caroline, and I am what about myself personally. I am passionate about helping people who want to love maths. It's all about. It doesn't have to be the people that are great at maths. Sorry, dog. It's for the people who maybe have a problem with maths, to help them to improve the maths of people who love maths already, but to help people who have a problem with maths, and to help them see how wonderful it is and that anybody can do it in their own way.
So, Caroline, I have a little information to share with you. When I was at school, I was bad. I was poor in math. Probably because of myself, maybe that teacher's reason, or I don't know the reason. But since my childhood, I developed a bit of fear towards the math subject. Whenever I saw my math teacher at school, I used to skip his classes rather than attending his classes. So like that, I skipped many math classes. At the end of the 10th grade, I failed in the math subject. Then I realized how important math subject was. I worked hard on math and managed to get the pass marks, but still the phobia of math is still persist in my mind. I don't know the reason. Maybe I didn't get the good foundation at the elementary level or the high school level. I don't know the reason. But I always encourage my students to develop the passion, the interest towards math, because keeping my experience in mind, I always encourage my students to learn math, and I also request my colleagues, especially the math subject. So I share my experience with them so that they don't want to see such a poor students like me in their classroom.
Yes, it's going to happen, and I don't know why it already happens with children before they even arrive in school. Experiences in life, or simply seeing the what's presented to them when they get to school, and the mind going blank. There's lots of reasons, but there's lots of ways in which you can bring those children back in, games to play, activities to do, where you don't even have to say we're doing maths, and it can help open up the mind again to success with the subject.
Yeah, thank you so much. And here is one student who is going to interact with you. Mahesh, for over to you.
Good morning, ma'am. My name is Maheshwar. I am an 8th grader from GPHS Penmaka. I would like to ask a question. My question is, how do you balance your personal roles, such as being a grandma, auntie, and friend, with your professional mission to spread the joy of maths worldwide?
Well, one way that I balance it is by continuing to work while I travel and visit my family. For example, I am in Portugal right now because we have a big family reunion, but I'm still working, and online I can do things. I can still create videos, and I can still create have conversations whilst I'm traveling. So the way I stay connected with my family is by traveling to see them, but I don't stop working while I am doing that. And talking to you right now is an example of how I do that.
Okay, thank you so much. Pooja, over to you.
Hi ma'am, my name is Pooja. I'm 8th grader from GPHS Penmaka. May I ask you a question, ma'am?
Yes, thank you. Lovely to meet you.
Who is your favorite maths teacher?
That's a good question. I suppose it was, I didn't really have a favorite maths teacher. I had some very patient maths teachers who I'm very grateful to, because I was also not very good at maths when I was young. So I suppose maybe my favorite maths teacher was Miss Pendergast. I had her for 1 year in primary school, and she taught us all the subjects, but she did everything with, she made everything we did, somehow she did it, made it fun. And that's why it worked for me. And she also, she taught us Latin. She decided she was going to teach us Latin. It wasn't on the curriculum, but we enjoyed learning Latin. So she found a way to make learning enjoyable for every single subject. And so, yeah, Miss Pendergast.
Thank you so much, Caroline. Akbar, over to you.
Good morning, ma'am. My name is this is Akbar. I am standard in 9th class from VZPH Penumaka. Can I ask a question?
Good morning. Yes, of course you can. Go ahead.
Could you share a memorable experience from one of your international maths workshops or shows?
Probably the most memorable one was in Bali. I traveled to, well, I've got two. One was Bali, where I traveled to a very small group of home educated children. They were children from the US and the UK. That was fascinating in a wild environment. But maybe my favorite one was in Tanzania, when I was climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, which I did for mathematics. I did a project on Kilimanjaro as part of the climbing about altitude and distances. And then afterwards, I went to a class. While I was climbing the mountain, there were many guides on the mountain that wanted to know what I was doing there. And they all said, every single one of the guides, please come to my brother's school, my father's school, my sister's school, to come and do some workshops there. And I did go to one of the schools, and I went on a dala driving along in the countryside, and went to their school and found out the wonderful things that they're doing, and gave them bubbles and balloons, and they loved it, and so did I.
Okay, thank you so much. And here is one more student, Revati.
Good morning, ma'am. My name is Revati. I am an 8th grader from GPHS Penumaka. May I ask you a question, ma'am?
Yes, of course. Thank you. Good morning.
What advice would you give to teachers who struggle to make maths enjoyable in their classrooms?
Do activities. Do activity-based maths. Don't start on the blackboard. Don't start talking. Start by doing. There are hundreds of activities on the website that I use with my colleague. She wrote the activities, I use them, and I can share that. It's called Aiming High. The website is part of the AIMS network in South Africa. Do activities, activity-based mathematics. Start with doing the activity, having the learners understand what's happening. Then after you've done the activity, then you talk about the things that go on the blackboard and the conclusions, and have discussions, lots and lots of discussions. Talk about the maths more than talk about the maths with the learners. The learners talk about the maths between themselves much more than telling the learners what you know.
Okay, thanks a lot. Here is one more student, Harika.
Good morning, ma'am. My name is Sarika. I am a 9th grader from GPHS Karmata. Can I ask you a question?
Of course. Good morning.
My question is, what inspired you start Bubbly Max, and how did it grow into global initiative?
I started maths because of my passion for helping people with maths. I started it because I heard on the radio and read in the newspaper, saw on the television. At the time, the journalists were all talking about a problem with learners and adults not being able to do maths. So innumeracy and fear of maths, plus anxiety. And I was an electronic engineer. So I had a problem with maths when I was in school, but I always loved maths. So I wanted to share that. So, okay, yes, you can have problems and you can also love maths. So I thought, I've got to do something about this. So I thought, well, if I make maths fun and I attract children to fun maths activities, then I can help. And it has been 20 years now since I started. And the way we developed it into something global is the internet. My colleague, I met my colleague Tony, and she already had global activities, internet-based activities, and I've used those activities to help learners all around the world. And we've got YouTube channel, we're YouTubers. I'm now 63, she's 85, and we are YouTubers. So that's how we do things. And I do huge performances for 800, 1,000 people sometimes in different countries. And that's how I do it.
Ma'am, my name is Salma. I am a ninth grader from GPHS Penamaka. Can I ask you a question, ma'am?
Good morning. Yes, of course.
How do you use creativity and fun to make engaging for students of all ages?
Playing games. One of the things we did recently, my colleague and I, is we published a book called Let's Play Mathematically. We've been playing the games for years, especially it started with your revered teacher. We started in COVID and doing actually games online, and I continue to do that. We're developing lots of videos still of how to play the games online, and plus in addition to the book, which is downloadable as well. Play games. Oh, and what else? Play games, play mathematical games.
Okay, thank you so much. Caroline, I have a few questions. As a teacher, Ravati, you can ask later, but let me ask some questions. Caroline, as a teacher of English, I have been working for almost 20 years. I have been witnessing some students who simply come to the grade 6 without basic foundation. I mean, without learning the alphabet, they are simply coming to the grade 6. Grade 6 is a class where I supposed to teach the lessons to the students, but half of the students they don't have the fundamentals. Some students they have some memory issues. They can't even recognize the letters. So for the sake of those students, I have designed some special books. So I make them read them. At the same time, I teach the classes for the above average students. So I have to balance these two types of students. I sometimes three types of students within my stipulated 45 minutes. As an experienced maths teacher, so if you have that situation in your classroom where uh, students in fact they don't have the even fundamentals, so what would you do at that in that context? Would you like to uh, take some other innovative techniques or methods to teach them who are not even up to the mark at that stage?
Yeah, I'm not a classroom teacher, so
Yeah.
I have had experiences in the classroom. It's especially with English reading, that is definitely an experience I do not have. Of course, there are people in my theatre, in the theatre where I'm presenting, there are people in classrooms that I've been in who struggle with the basic fundamentals of mathematics. And the answer in mathematics is that to do, instead of activities that involve numbers, which numbers themselves, the digits can be difficult, you have conversations and you do activities. So you use physical resources. So you can represent numbers with bars, physical wooden bars. You can represent numbers with physical things like the number of things, and just combine them together and count them just slowly, and have the more experienced learners or more the higher retainers work with the and teach them, and you teach the higher retainers how to help the lower retainers or the people that really struggle, just to be able to recognize the letter A, even though they've seen it for many years, they still can't see it, just to work together. And it teaches patience and how good teaching practice to the higher retainer, and it gives confidence to the lower retainer when it's done well. With letters, I think I would have to do it. I haven't done it, so I'm only thinking how I would use what I do with your situation, and the thing that comes to mind is through pictures, through actually using objects to tell the stories, objects to and pictures, drawing pictures, that sort of thing. I don't have experience with that. That's what I would start with.
Yeah, thank you so much. So in mathematics, I think we have many topics. Some topics are easy to learn. Some topics a bit focus is needed. Focus is required. What topics you like to teach innovatively, and what topics would like to take a little more explanation? I mean, some more physical resources are needed to explain the topics. But for you, I think all topics are very easy to explain because you are so experienced, and you have founded the Bubbly Math project. So, could you please share your experience in teaching different math topics?
Strangely, some of the most fundamental topics can be the hardest ones to grasp. For example, negative numbers. Just simply subtraction through the number 0. So to taking away 10 from the number 5, what happens with that? That is can be very difficult to grasp for the learners. And so that's just an example at the fundamental end. And then at the higher end, things like Pythagoras and trigonometry are algebra are numbers words that can be feared. And yet there are very simple ways of introducing them through doing activities. And we have all those activities on the websites, lots and lots of activities. Just start playing, basically doing activities. And then you say, once they've got it, then you can say, oh, by the way, at the end or after several weeks, you say, right now, there's a name for what we've been doing. The name is trigonometry. It's really cool. And they already know it before you even mention the name. And then the other further advanced is, yes, there's lots of things that you just simply have to do once at a higher level with pen and paper or visualizing advanced concepts. My colleague that I work with, Tony Bearden, her husband is a mathematician, Cambridge University, high level. He's a maths professor in the university, and every time he writes a lot, he creates a lot, he writes lots of papers, he creates lots of ways of doing things at his level. And he always starts, when he has an idea, he always starts by representing it on paper with a drawing, either a drawing or actually making a physical model. He always starts with something physical, either not words, not calculations, not formulae, either physical that you can hold and look at and turn around, or a drawing on a piece of paper. So that is, to me, that's your biggest clue.
Okay, thank you so much. Here are the last two questions from my side. in this 21st century, many changes actually are taking place in every subject. When it comes to English subject, when I was at school, teachers used to follow the rote method, and they used to use the blackboard and using the piece of chalk, and they used to explain us using the dictionaries, I mean books. Today, because of the technology availability, they are able to use the flat panels in the classroom, and we are using the online dictionaries. We are using everything that is available for us. Even AI also is helping us a lot to learn the subjects. So could you please explain to us what kind of new methods and techniques have been evolved in the subject of mathematics?
The internet itself, which has been around now quite some time, has been extremely helpful. The methods evolved are simply take away the rote learning, take away the explanations to start off with, and we use the tools, we use the AI, we use it to help. Even I use it to say, okay, how can I explain this concept better? And I'll use AI to help me do that. And then modify it to, because it always doesn't say what I really want it to say. So AI is helpful to get very clear about what you want to say, but correct it. Mostly it's there are some wonderful websites, which Tony and I are not doing that sort of thing. We're referring people to other websites where they have 3D models happening. There are lots of people that are creating the resources similar to what we're doing, but we're saying use paper, use sticky tape, use physical, get your hands involved in it. Don't just do it on the screen, so that you get it in a different place in your brain. But there are also wonderful activities that my other colleagues are doing that you couldn't have done even 5 years ago. And that we have some websites that we recommend for that as well. But it's important that it's done in that same way, in a way that helps understanding, rather than I get lots of people on the group just sending, oh, can we post this? Can we post this? And all it is examples of addition and subtraction and just the old style, but on a computer. And that is not helpful. It wants to be really using it to make things happen, to really get someone thinking rather than practicing the same thing again and again.
Okay, thank you so much, Caroline. Here is my last question. So could you please suggest some qualities that a role model teacher of mathematics should possess? Had I had a role model teacher in my childhood, probably I would have developed a positive attitude toward mathematics. So probably I would have become a mathematics teacher rather than the English teacher. So,
I truly believe that is true. The one very powerful thing that most of us teachers do not practice, and that is silence. You're so tempted, and I still do it. You're so tempted to explain rather than ask powerful questions. Ask the questions and get the learners to talk about it. Get themselves to discuss it. Give them activities that just wakes their curiosity. I gave a group of learners once some boxes to play with. Once, I say once, I don't do activities in classes very often, but this one time I had the opportunity to work out, it was trigonometry, and they had to do a box and they had to work out the diagonal line. And by actually taking the box and drawing all the lines on the outside and having something physical to play with, that is the teachers giving, number one, the teacher has to be enthusiastic, has to be, I love maths and we're going to enjoy this, but no, you're not pushing it on them. You're giving them activities to do where they just get excited and not talking at them, asking great questions so that children themselves, the learners themselves, their brains are ignited. And it doesn't matter if they know their numbers, it doesn't matter if they're dyscalculic, they can still have those discussions and come up with great explanations. Their explanations might be wrong, and that's okay because they're on the way to understanding what's happening.
Okay, thank you so much, Caroline, for your time. I know that how valuable your time is. Now you are enjoying celebrations in one of your relatives' houses. So before we wind up this session, may I request you to give a message? And if it is possible, please take us outside your room so that we can see the weather outside in Portugal.
The wagon gets out the front door. Everyone's asleep. Let's see if I know how to get out the front door. If not, we'll look out the window. So this is a house. Well, this is the house in Portugal. Oh, there's the room, television, cats.
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
no. And I go around here. Stairs. Now I've got to find keys to get outside. Aha. Oh, Peter. Then I've got to get back in again.
Yes. The weather
Right.
looks so pleasant. So pleasant. Portugal morning.
This is the Portuguese
Yes.
coming up. And what's happening over there at the moment is fiesta. So I don't know what they call them in Portugal, but we're having fireworks. So there's apartments. It looks like a lot of other places on earth.
Yes, it's quite sunny out there. I think Portugal is a bit a sunny country.
Yes, Portugal is a sunny country, and yeah, we have beautiful blue skies here. Not where I live I live in Wales. We don't get much sun there. Here we have trees. That's about it. Oh, now turn this around again.
Yes, thank you so much, Caroline. And could you please give a message to my students and the teachers in my region?
A message, but first of all, thank you for coming and joining this meeting, this way of meeting each other, and just remember, think of ways to do activities so children play games. And if your teacher or parents say let's play games, play them. Oh yes, less screen time, more actual physical games, although there are some great games that are played on screens as well. But you want to have screens that fire up your imagination, fire up your curiosity, rather than constant challenges that are just the same challenges again and again. Shush, shush. I have a thing about some of the games that the children play.
Okay, thank you so much, Caroline, for your time, and we will see you soon.